So, all right, everyone, welcome to the Maniacs Podcast. We're down here in Islamorada, Florida, with the Poppa Wahoo, one of the beautiful 55-foot hatteras down here in the Sportfishing Capital of the world. And next to me, I have Captain George. George, introduce yourself.
Yeah, Captain George Scott Jr. I have rodeo charters, but I work with Poppa Wahoo Collective down. So my buddies from high school, we all came back together, and we are in Islamorada, Sportfishing Capital of the world, by the way. You're close enough. The keys really are.
So many times we're going to say Sportfishing Capital of the world.
Right.
Yeah, two right now.
Right.
So you guys might know George, right? George, you're a TV star.
Yeah, I've been on TV
Maybe
a little bit.
Celebrity or
I don't even go that far. Paychecks weren't that big. So, but yeah, and I did a show for 8 years, 7 seasons on Discovery Channel called The Fish Guys. And my partner that I did the show with has continued that, and he's doing it. But I've got other stuff going on with the Poppa Wahoo, so it's kind of hard to juggle everything.
yeah, so it's like every time I talk to Brian or Dave, you guys are running charters. A lot of folks are here.
We're out a lot.
Yeah.
We've been out a lot.
So let's just kind of go around and just give the quick introductions.
That's a microphone.
There's the microphone. Yeah.
Yep,
I
that's
thought you had to be a bug.
It does, right? All right.
Anyway, I'm Skip Brady, Captain Skip Brady, and we say Captain. I still Captain, but I don't get on the bridge anymore. I'm down in the cockpit. I sing and dance with Poppa Wahoo, and I've had a wonderful time. I met these two guys years ago, and their dad years ago too. And I they were dad's funeral, funeral, and they asked me if I hang around with these guys, look at like tangle. That's why I got the fish tired. And I said, "I'll take a look at it." Here, halfway it's right here in my program. But I'm looking to do a lot of work getting respected. I'm not on the bridge anymore. I'm not on her. But the cockpit, I sing and I dance. I shop and hook.
But he does sing and dance.
I do. You play the right.
The best I can do.
I'm going to change something. I like the Johnny Cash.
There you go.
I'm not. Let's give you the year. I'm 83 years old. I'll tell you the time.
You back then?
Yeah.
Your intro?
That's my
All right.
18
Back to your intro. All right, we're gonna come back to it.
No, but let's mention how
Let it
long
flow.
you've been down here in the 40s.
We could do that.
There you go. Yeah.
All right, I come down in 1980, 1964 on a tour vacation, September 23rd, actually, and I never left. I stopped in Islamorada, talked to a couple of captains in the doctor, I did turn around, go back to Rhode Island, meat cutter, which is Then it took me to stay in a couple of days after. That's why, as we do this show over the years, I'll tell you so much more.
Got a lot of
Wonderful history and how it all happened. So there you go. You want to take the mic now? Let's get the mic.
You give it down to Brian and let him
Brian's,
Brian's one of the main boys in this whole operation. Here it is.
Main man.
In person.
Brian Epstein, Captain, start owner of the Poppa Wahoo Collective, and you guys part of doing things this week. So I'm gonna hand it over to you.
Captain Josh, run Southern Suns Charters out of Marathon, so I'm the outside guy here. But it's all good. It's all fun and games, fishing, having a good time. Got some true knowledge sitting on the table, and it's a privilege to be here. Thank y'all for having me. Honestly, thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you, everybody. Thank you for having us here. I guess that's a wrap. We'll see y'all later.
Don't go anywhere yet. Don't go anywhere yet. Yeah, we got to talk fishing. So, Captain George, tell us, how's the waters out there today?
Well, this morning was okay. We went out there this morning. It's been a good tuna bite, and there's some mahi showing up. So now everybody's kind of going and reaching a little bit further every day to get offshore and see what's going on out there, because, if they're not there, it's a lot of driving around looking for birds and stuff. But now we've got that steady flow, grass lines coming in, some weeds, and there's some birds working on them. So, it's worth it now. You can go out to the Islamorada hump and catch the shaders. You might even catch mahi there, and then you can even go look around a little bit, and you feel like you're fishing. You're not just driving around. There's actually this time of year, man. This is our pattern where these fish come in. one boat here, the drop back came in the other day. He had 15 nice keeper dolphins. You know, so he found them, and that's it. That's what you have to do.
I think he tagged us by Maniacs.
Oh, I'm sure he did.
He said he had a pretty good day. I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before, but I know yesterday is completely different than today. Yesterday was a nice flat day out there. You fished yesterday, no? Day before. And you said it was nice out there.
No, I mean, it has been, we've had a nice weather pattern for like the last 4, 5, 6 days. And now this little disturbance moved in on us. And now we're looking at like 3 days of it really blowing. So if you're not hardy, you probably don't want to go out there. You know what I mean? Because it's going to be rough.
You know, probably 3 to 5 with 30 knot winds right there, 3 to 5.
I had a 4 and a 6-year-old on the boat today, and we're blessed that we have a big vessel that can really handle the sea. But grandma didn't feel good, and dad didn't feel good, and the little guys were like, you know, they're having a roller coaster, you know.
So now, before you go out, you know the conditions, right? I mean, you know it's not going to be like calm, you know.
No, I mean it's pretty easy to read the conditions here, and we get anything easterly, but it's blowing 20. It's but you also have to look at all that wind is pushing stuff inshore. So maybe you don't have to run 20 miles to go try to find a spot. You know, you can go out there like you were talking a little bit ago. You want to see the water and there's fish. Right? There's fish coming down the edge of the creek. Guys are still catching sailfish right now in 130, 140 feet of water. And now there's some Mahi that's in there. And today I went out to about 250 and drove around a little bit. We caught half a dozen nice dinos and a bonita and a barracuda before they put the white flag up and said, hey, take us back to the doctor. We've had enough. Yeah, Grandma did like
Yeah, they got dinner, right?
They got dinner. Yeah, they got it. And they built back. They rolled the boat and they love seeing the grandkids catch some fish. And you know, it's unexpected most of the time, but we feel horrible about it. People book these trips in advance, man. They book them months in advance, and you do everything you do to get them out there and they're productive. And like this afternoon, we had a group of people. They had about 6-year-old kids, and that wind picked up and started really blowing. And it's like, no, 4 to 6 foot on the edge of the reef, and bigger as you move offshore. And it becomes a safety concern for us. We don't want anybody get hurt. And first and foremost, that safety is our first responsibility on the boat. So
it's funny you say that they book their charter, they also book their trips to come down here a lot of times too. So
we do.
I know all of these old fronts, the fronts that come through them. I was like, man, I hate to pay $7,000 to that.
Well, listen, if you book, you know, a week down here at one of the resorts, we're at Free Water for here, great resort, great marina. If you come down here, it's not the end of the world. Have some flexibility, right?
Yeah.
Have a little flexibility to where we can maybe get you out another day. Like this could pass through in 2 days, then they get nice again, and then we could get you out there if we're available, and we definitely will try to. But you know, if you've got everything planned in succession and you don't have that flexibility, there's a good chance you're probably going to end up pushing. And it's unfortunate because they do book muscle changes. So we try our best, and but remember, safety. It's always about safety, right?
Yeah, so we're talking about the 55-foot patterns here, but I'm going to pass this down to Ryan. You have more than just one boat, right? So yeah.
That's correct. There's actually right now there's 5 boats total. The other boat, which is directly behind us at Well Harbor Marina, right across the river.
Everyone will know it as Wahoo. So
Yeah,
Wahoo,
right by
Wahoo.
Wahoo. It's called the Poppa Wahoo 2. It is a 53 header. It's classic. We have come over the bridge. We see the big Wahoo striped boat. That's it. Right there, and you can see it in the
Blue and black striped boat. You can't see.
So it's actually that golf cart right
Well, they got to know what a Wahoo looks like.
So book a charter.
That's true.
You can go out and get a Wahoo.
There you go. Try to show you.
We also have a bay boat. Actually, we had 2. We had the Poppa Bay, we call it, and we have George's rodeo carbon bay boat as well. And just for fun, we got a pontoon boat. Try seeing it really fucking cool. That's beer drinking. If they're drinking sandbar, sunset, or
It just seems like every time I talk to you, you're just getting off the charter on that pontoon boat.
It's been
Well, that's a nice backup.
Very
I mean, think about it. If it is blowing and it is windy, you can still go out to our sandbar. This is a world famous sandbar here. We got the world famous tiki bar right here. So people come here, they go out here probably a quarter of a mile. They can go out on the pontoon boat, jump in the water, throw a football around, have a good time. And that's if they get blown out for fishing. You know, we really want to get people out fishing. That's just what we do. We've done it our whole lives. And, you know, so work hard to make that happen. But
So you guys can, you guys can run charters out to the sandbar.
We do.
Yeah,
Just so everyone knows.
Yeah, we do.
So you can see all the videos on Instagram, Facebook. This punch is
Very popular. Even today, when I was coming in, hour and a half, 2 hours ago, there were still 25 boats out there. It was blowing 32, I don't know, about 33 up. Yeah. They really picked up. I mean, when I went out, it was like 18, but I think it was change. So, but there was still plenty of boats out there. Actually, when I was coming in, there was so many mullet in this channel that every pelican in Islamorada was diving on. I got great videos if you want to see it.
Yeah.
There was this a free for all pelican. I think it was all mullet. I believe. But
Yeah, it was.
this whole channel is covered with hundreds of pelicans, and diving was the craziest thing. So
there you go. First impressions.
No, this is great. I love it. I love the fact that we can sit out here, we can talk some fishing, you know, talk a little bit about these lures that we're excited to use this year for Mahi season, right? And this right here, the first thing that I think of when I see this is a flying fish, and we know that that's probably one of the main food sources, if not the main food source in our area down here in the southeast. There's flying fish from just inside the edge of the reef, 40 feet of water, and start blowing them out of the water, and it goes all the way out. So when when we're out there, we find a nice area, and maybe we don't go to hunt because we're looking for Mahi in general. See those flying fish, you know that if there's a little bit of an edge there, you start looking for birds, you see the active birds, you're in the zone. So why not pull something that looks just like this, like a flying fish? Because that's what they want to do. That's why we troll valley fish, because they troll really good. But this lure right here, I put a small valley behind that, and I'm guaranteed that if there's a big fish, well, you can troll a bait too.
Yeah.
I'm a bait guy too. I like trolling bait.
Either way.
If they grab it,
There we go.
uh-oh.
Whoa!
Dun, dun, dun.
What is this?
We got the spread from.
hey, you
Tell her who you are.
Yeah, give the mic.
My name's
Yeah, here.
Alberto.
Take
And
the
my
mic.
partner, Sticky Barrel.
Here, grab one so you can hear. Grab the mic. The camera's right there.
Right there, just tell them.
So my name's Alberto. I'm Cuba, and I work on the Sticky Barrel, Cuba Resort.
There you go. There you go. World famous. World famous tiki bar. So this is
Sorry.
right?
You be on it. You caught this today.
We caught yellowtails today. Brian caught yellowtails today. I caught tuna. So this is going to be yellowtail snapper. But they prepare it like this, and you can make your own tacos.
Okay.
Right? And there's nothing like a fish taco. I kind of made fish tacos famous. A little bit more than they were before. Because
So this fish is only a few hours old. So,
yes, yeah, no, it's like freshest.
An hour and 10 minutes, maybe.
Hour and 10 minutes. An hour and 10, an hour and 12 minutes. So we got guacamole,
Bit of
pico de gallo,
we got some cabbage shredded up there, black beans.
Yeah, got pickled onion.
That's yeah, think about it.
Wow. Okay. So
Is that pickled jalapenos?
is it pick- you got one?
Pickled jalapeno.
We got it.
Get in there. Yeah, do it. You'll love it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, put lead in your pencil. Yeah, the seeds.
Especially if you get one caught.
Hey, warm it up. Wow.
Yeah. No, there's some rice.
No,
Right.
the fish.
So it looks like they just blackened some fish. So,
Not just this one.
So this looks like you can make a bowl out of it or a plate out of it. I don't see.
They can bring
No, they can bring tortillas. We do this a lot. We do this a lot with our clients, right? So like our clients show, and we take them out fishing. And say we get in at 11:30 or whatever, we're gonna clean the fish. We can have this prepared for them for one. They have it served right here, either on the boat or at the picnic table here. All right, on the boat. They can make all their own fish tacos, and they caught that fish just right before we came in.
A lot of themselves.
So it's like the freshest fish you'll ever get. You know, very, very spoiled.
You can have some very spicy pickle.
Spicy is right. It's on fire.
It's already
And it does.
He had to do it just like I did.
Show them how tough I am.
Peer pressure.
Here, I want to give Captain Skip here some microphone time. I know he's got just stories.
Well, yeah, it's fun.
And I see him itching to talk. We're working with you. So let's start at 57 years. 57 years ago.
Captain always, Captain Reedy Roy, and he had one to go fishing. I said, why don't you do that? I need somebody to go. First we made I got a lot of it. That's it. $5.
And that $5
This is yeah.
What I'll do is I'll upload it maybe on the page.
Yeah, so they can. Yeah, there you go.
That's a 1996. $50 all day. $40. That's how much was $40. Yeah.
How much was these?
Okay. You know what? In those days, you can ask.
Okay. They didn't have these.
I'd be careful. Everything on
Give me Bob.
They all came down and wanted to fish with.
They come down here. They go. Yeah, Dickie Bennett.
Miami Fighters. They could have a mustache. Mason, you got some work. You got some work to do with the mustache. Yeah, no, yeah, I'm saying.
Hey, I got an album full.
I could say something. I'm not gonna.
Oh, that's awesome.
Is at you from the beginning to where we are right now, but that's it. I can't begin to too much of the time we have, but it's been a wonderful world for me. I'm the senior captain here in the upper keys, maybe in all the keys, which is scary because the rest of them are dead. So that's what's happened. I lead the blessing of the fleet every year. It's the 1st of January, and I lead the blessing. I look behind me, and there's like 85 boats behind me of all the captains of the past, and because the rest of them are gone, that's why I'm here.
Yep.
So,
Hey, you know what they
what you
say,
got?
Skip?
What do you say?
Old fishermen never die. They just smell that way.
Okay, we got it.
I'm just saying.
Anyway, here's a bunch of guys I took these pictures of, and some of these are 30 years old. I took these 30 years. The names of the people is like 60 of them on here, and they're all deceased.
Wow.
Right, this is them, and now I probably put another 20 on here over the years that were in town working when I was in town. They're all gone, all gone.
Pioneers and legends.
Yep, that's it, pioneers and legends. And I got another 20 or 30 I put on here, so that's how I've been here that long. Isn't that scary? But there it is, right there. All the guys from the days of yore. A couple of guys didn't die that long. Don Gajola died in the last 20 years, and a few guys. But there's 60 guys that died within the last 30, 40 years in the business, and that's it. So we got a lot of stories to tell you over the time. I'll pick away.
So let me ask this question.
Yes, sir.
Right. So you drive into Islamorada, there's a sign that says Sportfishing Capital of the World, right?
That's what it said, I think, yeah.
Three times.
Or 3 times.
3 times, yeah.
Okay.
Keep going.
What makes that for everyone that hasn't fished in Islamorada? That
that's just to say that we got it before marathon. That's the only reason. And nothing.
You just wanted to stop
It's
here
30,
and fish
30 miles between the two. And then, my boys sit right here and say, well, what about us? And marathon's all right. I know all the guys marathon before you were down there, buddy. All the guys from the 60s and 70s, Donnie Bradshaw. I don't know any of those names for the guys. But anyway, on and on. And I know all those guys.
Let me just say this.
Yes, sir. Say it.
The diversity of the Florida Keys and what you can come down here and accomplish fishing wise.
Oh yeah.
It's world class. So that's why that was coined.
okay.
Because you can come down here and go catch a bonefish and a tarpon, and the next day go catch a blue marlin and a wahoo, or catch a trophy swordfish. There's just so much to do, and I think that's what really stuck. Plus, if you look at all the existing world records through the IGFA, a lot of them come out of the Keys. A lot. And they'll never be broken. A lot of them will never be broken.
And they're not from Islamorada, though. But we used Islamorada. We take the chance. We took a shot to say, hey, call Islamorada. But it's all from Key Largo to Key West. They really had some serious fishing down here. Like George says, I fish people over the years, fish all over. They fish with me, and next time they come back 3-4 years later, say, Captain Skip, we fished all over the world. There's no much more fun than fishing in Islamorada. And I'm saying marathon, too. I've done it, but it's the Keys. And it's been absolutely the way it is. Many of my clients said, we can go there and fish in Panama, caught a 4,400-pound blue marlin and a 60-pound mahi and all that. But you know what? All the diversity that's in Islamorada, like George says, you go in the backcountry a couple of days offshore, and it's really hard to beat. And I say Islamorada, Marathon, Key Largo, Key West, it's all good down here. We're very fortunate to be part of it. To tell you the truth.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it. We're very happy to be here. Hope we continue.
Captain Josh, talk about a little bit of what you got going on down at Marathon.
Well, I mean, we've got the mahi showing up on the reef, blackfin on the reef, and like he's saying, man, you run offshore and it's an internal joke but anyway, I grew up bass fishing, right? And my wife loves fishing too. And you never know when you're trolling what you're gonna get. You never know, right? It could be a marlin, sailfish, wahoo, blackfin, mahi, barracuda, whatever. I'm lucky to be down here fishing, because if you were trolling out of like where I grit my teeth is Jacksonville, catch a red snapper trolling, and that'll shit a day real quick, because
I got a theory that if you're catching barracuda trolling, you need to troll a little bit faster. No?
It's still.
You think that's true?
Pretty fast.
I mean, they are fast, but they're pretty lazy though.
I never catch a barracuda.
Never, ever.
They don't go in the boat.
I got to tell you this. I got to tell you this, because I took a group of kids out the other day with their parents, and we had a bunch of live cigar minnows in the well, and we had gone out and we caught some nice tunas and stuff, but it was a kid's birthday and he wanted to catch a big fish. And we went to a spot out here and we caught like 10 or 12 big barracudas, and they were biting, and they had so much fun catching and letting these fish go, so they get a bad name because you can't really eat them, but they are trophy fish. They're fun sport fish. Yeah. They jump and dance.
Going to what he said earlier, it's about the experience of what you get with the charter, right?
Yeah.
Those kids, did you, catching barracuda?
not the best thing in the world. Did those kids have a good time?
They had a great time.
Absolutely. So my last charter, the wife wanted to go snorkeling. Well, we know it'd been blowing more than Stormy Daniels down here the week before.
Oh, God, I like that.
And
Oh, God.
Kabang!
so
He got that one in there. That was a good one.
Podcast.
It was a good
I
one.
mean, it's been blowing just like it's fixing to. And I said, hey, do you, or is,
Yeah.
I said, hey, did you get to go snorkeling or whatever to see the water? And she said, no, they canceled the snorkeling trip on us. I was like, okay, well, that's cool. Well, do you want me to build in like 30 minutes so we can just go to Sombrero, which is the same thing as Alligator,
Sure.
right?
Yep.
And so you can see the water because it's clear and it's calm and you can see the bottom. Done deal. That's all they're looking for. You know, they're looking to catch some fish and have a good time. Like he's saying, man, safety is number one, and it can kick up on you in a heartbeat. When I was a fireman with the city of Jacksonville, we lost a fireman out of Port Canaveral, never found him. And I searched for that guy for 5 days, anywhere from Jacksonville, borderline of Georgia, started in St. Augustine. So, and then later on, about 6 months later, I did a Wahoo tournament for him, you know, and to get money for the family. So, you know, I understand the safety aspect, and it's nothing to screw around with, you know. Yeah, they've got big boats. Big boats and small, but it doesn't matter. If something goes wrong, boat don't matter, man. It's about the safety, in my opinion. You know, so
Now, PLBs, EPIRBs,
Yep.
use them.
Yep.
Bring them.
Yep.
Have them. You know, I don't
Yep.
know how people are going.
Well, I mean, there's just a simple fact that all of our boats, all our vessels have to be loaded with safety equipment just for that one moment, you know, where, you know, everything's good, but, you know, fire can start in a boat. You can have electrical fire, anything can happen.
Yep.
And, you know, we take care of our boats, we do the maintenance on them and stuff, but anything can happen. So, you know, you got to have
different systems that can go wrong. Right.
Oh, yeah.
And people, I think, don't think about
Mm-mm.
investing in something that they're hopefully never going to use. Right.
Yeah,
Well, that's why you have it.
you also got the Garmin InReach too.
Right.
You know, so the Garmin, I carry a Garmin InReach, it's $30 a month. You can text anywhere in the world.
Yep. And
You know, and it's got the SOS button and all
Right.
that stuff. So, yeah, I mean, that's that's key.
Yep.
You start.
So Poppa Wahoo 2, you guys got Starlink on there, right?
Yeah, Starlink.
You were telling me that there's guys in there working while their kids are fishing. So, you know, it's a good daycare system, right?
Yeah, we're lucky to be able
Maybe
to
a little
have that.
expensive, you know, it's probably a little more expensive than daycare, but you know, I mean,
You charge a little more.
Yeah.
That's for it. It's worth it.
yeah.
Had a guy doing a Zoom meeting in there, and somebody opened the door up and they're swearing and cussing and they're pulling fish in the boat, and he's like, "Shut the door! I'm on a Zoom meeting," you know. And they had no idea where he was at. And then the guy's boss, "Where are you?" And he goes, "I'm like 30 miles out in the ocean."
There's actually on YouTube, there's a guy, or maybe he started on like TikTok or something, that green screens. He does like extreme green screening. and after I'll show you, and he's like skydiving and has a green screen behind him, and he has a laptop on a rack. that just reminded me of that. It's like he's like skydiving, he goes dirt biking, I mean, it's funny. Have you ever seen really? Oh man.
Hey, we've come a long way, baby, haven't we?
Yeah.
Sitting on the green.
When I started 64, we had a compass on the boat, and that is it. We had no electronics. There was no such thing as LORAN and GPS and all that. And it was just if you had to line up two markers like range fishing and like that. Today you push 7 buttons, you got everything that's going on from here to Moscow. It's unbelievable, really. It is. It's a whole different
Captain
world.
Josh asked,
Yeah.
how did you know where the bottom was?
Yeah.
Without
You know where to go on
the bottom scan.
Well,
and the
I
side
tell you what,
scan.
back in the day, my father-in-law told me that if they want to get out the deep water, catch snapper and so forth, they'd have to put a rock on a piece of string with a piece of bubble gum on the bottom. They drop it down. If they come up with a thing that had sand on it, you wouldn't fish that spot. You would put it down. It had nothing on the bottom. That was a piece of rock. And that's how they did it back in the 40s and 50s, ladies and gentlemen.
What about deep dropping?
And deep drop, oh, yeah.
No, I'm asking.
Deep
Back-
dropping. It's off the chart. It's off the chart. What's going on with deep dropping? We did all the deep dropping back in the day. It was just like a no-brainer. Everything on any spot, 350, 400 foot of water. The fish. Now you had to have a fathometer for those. In those days, we had fathometers. We couldn't do that without. But most of the guys that went out there had a fathometer. But there were days when I first started out that we couldn't find the say the Islamorada hump. What would happen? The collides would come in. We could run time and distance from the head pin to there, and sometime the current would get us to take us away. We'd chase some birds. The next thing you go, believe it or not, we could not find the Islamorada hump some days, and that's only 11.5 miles out, and everybody would have to go around the way because the clouds come in on alligator light. We'd have a hand compass, a one-eye compass. You look at the compass, 283 degrees would put you on up at 450 foot of water. But if all that changed because of the cloud curves coming in, it was all bets are off. And some days we couldn't even find the mighty Islamorada hump. It's a very famous place. You're going to hear more and more about that over the time we do this show.
It's the same as the marathon hump.
Yeah, oh yeah.
They wouldn't know.
Yeah, how could you ever find that, really, without electronics, really?
With the 409.
The 409 and the 43. Well, marathon hump, we call it the 43.
Yeah.
We leave out of here, it's 43 miles. The 409 is like less than that. But those are spots that you have to find. If you got out there, you'd see a ripple on the water, a lot of current going against the trees, and you'd have a rip on the water, and you'd have that would be your spot, or not be a lot of spots out there. But we're fishing in the blind, so to speak, compared to when they started bringing out Loran and then good fathometers, and it came to color machines from the paper machines to the color machines, and away we went.
Paper machine.
And that was it was stylus, the old paper machine would go around. I had the Ross paper machine. Everybody remembers that name. But anyway, we had that was what we had. We finally had the paper machine, and Lawrence come out with a good machine, and then everybody after that come out with a good machine.
There was no electric. There was no.
No. It's
right. There was no electric.
It's scary. George has got all this stuff on the bridge. I go up there. I don't go up there anymore. I was scared of being on the bridge, but I look at the stuff he's got up there. I just go down and stay in the cockpit and say, George, find us a spot. It's no brainer anymore because it's pretty simple to get out there and figure out which way the current and the tides are going. Not that there's any fish in those spots necessarily, but at least we know where the spots are. They don't always fight. Really.
We've had some nice rips on 280 foot of water out of marathon.
Yeah.
Birds working and
right now, is this happening now? Yeah. Well, it's going to occur now. Now you're going to have the Mahi, you're going to have the blackfin tuna, the sailfish. Sailfish is pretty good, I'll tell you right now. As good as it's been all year long. I think right now it's consistent with everybody's getting out there. The flags right next door. We got the couple yesterday. Joey had 3 and so forth and so on. Anyway, the sailfish is pretty good right now, and it's probably going to wane. But until it does, I think it's worth going out there if you want to.
We got a big sailfish tournament next.
Yeah, you do. I read about that. Yeah, a big time. Marathon's got it all going. It really did. Marauder had it all, and now Marathon's picked it up and run. When you got the bull and the cow coming up down in Marathon.
Habitat for Humanity.
Yeah, you got a lot.
One.
You guys are doing a nice job down there, Marathon. Really, a real nice job. And we got a couple of tournaments coming up, don't we, George? Do we have some sailfish tournaments coming? I mean, dolphin tournaments coming up. What are we involved in?
A lot of them.
Yeah. Okay. That's it.
No, I don't know what they are. Actually,
There's a lot of tournaments.
Well, we're booked for some. We're booked for the Nick. We're booked for the Nick Sheehan. I think we got the ladies. Let's go fishing.
Come to Earth.
Yeah, we got like 3 or 4 tournaments booked. You don't know. I just want to show up when we tell you to. Okay, you'll be just fine.
The dolphin is my favorite fishing.
Yeah,
I mean it's my favorite fishing hands down because when you start working them birds. So September of last year, right? I'm sorry, July of last year, I was working a bird NATO. I had like 40 birds above me.
What's that, man? Bird NATO?
A bird NATO. Like there was like 40 birds above me.
Tornado of birds.
There you go. Thank you.
And a bird NATO. I'm pulling a naked ballyhoo, and man, it looked like a submarine came up and it popped. Like what the hell is that? You know, I'm used to, different fish popping. Anyway, so we were in a shitload of weeds, and so I just dumped the reel back, and whatever it was, man, it came right back up. Well, I know what it was now, but anyway, it came back up, and it was gone. Man, it was like Earnhardt at Daytona, buddy. He was just hammered down and gone. Hammered down. Got him back, man, and we had about a 30-foot leader on him. And he did this. And we all know what that is.
Yeah. So have we decided what kind of fish it is yet?
It was a yellowfin.
A yellow
Yellowfin.
yellowfin tuna. Yeah. There you go.
But, and the reason I think that I never got to lay eyes on the fish, it snapped. Not the rod, but the leader.
Yeah.
And I went to Venice, Louisiana in September, and we went yellowfin fishing. The same thing.
Oh, it's off the chart there, though. I mean, that is not uncommon to catch yellowfin all the going up there. It's one of my favorite fish. I don't catch many of them. We don't catch many of them, but it's one of the favorite fish down there when you do catch them. No doubt.
Them things is just
So that's the typical behavior.
Yeah, well, that's what they do. They got to keep swimming to keep oxygen in their gills, and that's the only way they can do. And when they're going down, they're swimming. But when they're getting tired and they come up, you crank them. They keep going in big circles. They got to do that, and then you got to hit them just right with a gaff. Because even when you hit them with a gaff, you got to time it right because it never lay there. You got to go ahead and get them, catch them on the fly.
We were on like a 43-foot aluminum. It's a Gator Alley. Anyway, it was a catamaran, and that yellowfin did like Gulf of America 500. I'm sitting there, and I am done. This is 45 minutes into the fight, and I'm like, I'm done. Like my back is done.
You got 30 more minutes for that. On that.
Dude, I mean, and then he'd come up, and he'd say, "Whoop, I'm gone," boom, and you're like, God bless, right? And the mate has, they have the appropriate. Right. Gaffs. But man, you ain't got it.
You got to get them up there first before you gaff them.
Dude, I mean, I have video and that.
Oh, yeah. That's the yellowfin for you. Yeah. Yellowfin the same way. Yeah.
I will say this. My buddy Joe, who runs a boat over here at Whale Harbor called the Coral Sea yesterday, he's had the bait patch and he had a 700-800 pound bluefin eating zero mackerels and houndfish and whatever was floating around. And we're talking 20, 30 feet of water. It looks like a car.
Really?
It looks like a V. Yeah.
It looks like a car driving through the water.
The Volkswagen.
And
that's what Volkswagen.
And we tell everybody there's no gates, there's no fences out here. So like weird things can happen, right? You can catch a 700 pound fish in 20 feet of water.
Yeah.
It just happens.
Absolutely.
We've got guys catching swordfish here in Islamorada in the Gulf. Right here close to the bridges. Captain Skip Nielsen. I think he's caught 2.
What's that?
Swordfish. Yeah, on the edge of the flats.
There's no chain link fences.
No, there's no fences.
We keep saying that.
So but you got to be prepared for that stuff too, right? And unfortunately that fish came off. You broke the fish off because we're not geared up for it all the time.
And it was that day was cloudy, right? Yep. And we deal with beautiful clear water here, and you can see down in that water. It was cloudy.
Yeah.
You're not going to see.
No.
But I can tell you, like you said, man, I seen the back of that fish and I was like, that's a VW bug.
Yeah.
And then,
so there's yellowfin tuna down here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Swordfish. Yeah, they're
some
more prevalent in like the Bahamas, east side.
Yeah. You can't talk
pelagic fish.
You're not going out there targeting the yellowfin. You're out there and you
bonus fish.
Yeah, you hook one.
Yeah.
Same thing with the marlin, pretty much too. I mean,
they follow the food chain.
Yeah.
We've got all these blackfin tunas out on these humps here on the west hump there in Marathon and up here on the Islamorada, the 409. You got to figure that he's around somewhere.
Right.
There's all that food source, all these little, 5 to 8 pound tunas, and there's big ones there too. But
you're the OG.
You know that he's lurking somewhere.
Right.
And if you're geared up for it, and you take one of those tunas and you put it out there live and let it swim around there, bridle them.
Yep.
Let them swim around a little bit, man. You just never know what's going to happen.
That's becoming a big thing. Is the tuna tubes? Little bullet bonitas,
little bullet bonita,
bridled, and once you see the bait or the fish, you just
that's it. And guys will just swim them out there. They'll put 2 out and they'll just drag them around those humps on the edges of the humps. And it's hard to do when there's a lot of weed coming through. I mean, it has to be really good conditions to do that.
Or at least clean weed lines.
But I mean, there's big wahoo that will swim up and eat one of those. And there's also a big mahi could be there and swim up and eat a tuna. Yep. I caught a sailfish on a hump one day, ate a tuna that we hooked on a feather.
Okay.
And came up and ate the whole thing. And we had that fish on. So, yeah, I mean, it's, again, back to the keys and the diversity.
Right.
and what can happen. But you have to be prepared, and that's kind of the motto. My motto is just be prepared. You know, in the summer months when we're out there Mahi fishing, I have an 80 wide ready to rock, so I can
You
hook.
never know.
No, I can hook a schoolie on there. I fed blue marlin right at the transom of the boat, where they'll eat anything.
Where your catch becomes
The bait, man. I tell you what, that's always fun when that's the case.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Get one out of the box. You just grab it, you hook it through the top of its head, you throw it overboard and pull some line off of the reel and get it out there. And that fish swims up and goes and eats the whole thing. And you just let them swim off and give them a few jabs, and now you're off to the races. That fish's gonna go.
I've had a small mahi, probably a schoolie, and here comes the big cow or bull comes and eats that.
There you go.
On your hook.
all the time.
That's when the big cows or bulls were here, but not much of those anymore. Unfortunately, they figured out a pattern down there in Central and South America, or wherever they're figuring it, and they're stopping them all from coming here. It's such a shame, and we can't do anything about that. Their countries have to feed their families also. We can't. America does very well. We're very important about taking care of our future of fishery, but boy, in most countries they aren't. They're hungry today and not worried about tomorrow, and that's what's happened with the big mahis. I tell you what, it's a shame. I got a book full of pictures of mahis we caught back in the day, and but just can you remember the last time we saw a 50-pound mahi behind a boat, George? I mean, I can't remember.
I mean, it doesn't happen all the time anymore.
Well, hardly ever.
And billfish too. You know, when you get down to South America, they have no problem killing billfish.
Yeah.
And we're totally against it. Like we'll bring in a sailfish if it gets tail wrapped and it dies.
Right.
But if it's in good shape and we can let it go, we let it go. But I'm not feeding sharks a sailfish.
Yeah.
Just to feed them a sailfish, just to let a dead fish go. I'm not doing it. So, you know, and we'll use it. We'll smoke it. We'll share it. We'll do that kind of stuff. But, you know, people have to do that.
I've seen some pretty good sized mahi caught last year. I think last year was a decent year.
Good year.
It was a better year than the last year.
Better then, but not like it was. I mean, the rack was full of it. Everybody have 8 to 10 fish between 15 and 30 pounds. Every rack on it. I'm talking about 50 or 100 of those fish that size. I'll tell you a quick story about Mahi because we're kind of running out of time. That had a great angler. His name was Jim Reynolds. He was from Little Rock, Arkansas, and this is a 1975. Say he fished every 4th of July. The day before and the 4th of July, he'd fished 2 days, and one day he fished for me on the 4th of July. It was late in the afternoon. And we caught a giant mahi, right? We brought the fish. In fact, might have been one of the best bites we had all day. We bring the fish back to the dock, and we weighed the fish. It was 65 pounds, and that was the biggest mahi ever caught. He had it mounted. So next year, the very same weekend, 4th of July, and the day before, we go out there, and the same angler from Little Rock, Jim Reynolds, and he catches another big mahi, and we bring that fish back to the dock. And the 2 biggest fish I ever caught, and that fish was 66 pounds. So it was 55 pounds. He had it mounted. The 66 pounder I had it mounted, and the chance of one angle 1 year to the day away catching those 2 fish. So that's the best 2 fish I've ever caught. I haven't caught anything over that size fish. I've seen a couple of 70-pound, 75-pound fish back in the day caught, but those are the best 2 fish I ever caught. The same angler, 1 year apart, and he caught a 65 and a 66-pound.
What years were those?
1975 and 76.
Okay, so.
Yeah.
What reels were you using?
Oh, I don't remember. Probably some Finors, maybe. I had some inexpensive. I used to use Finor tackle all the time. I'd buy them used because they were expensive then. And probably Finors. I don't remember. They were conventional reels, but it was the 2 best fish I ever caught.
And what did you consider expensive then?
Yeah.
Or a real new?
Boy, I tell you, I know $300-400 with a Finor.
Really? Wow. Okay.
The Finor was the best reel. I mean, it was a fine-tuned reel, and other companies come out with reels. Of course, Penn come out with the gold reels, and everybody's come out with good reels. But Finor was my favorite reel, and I could never afford them new, but I'd buy them from people that were getting retired or getting out of business. But it was my favorite reel. But there's so many great reels out there right now. Yeah, I love them. And back then, I wish I had a few of them just to show off. I'd bring one and show it to you, but they were fine-tuned. The drag was so sensitive, and I'm sure everybody's got good reels out there now. I've been out of the world of buying tackle for the last 5 years, so I'm not too much up on what's new. In fact, we were talking about on the boat with Richie. He said he got a new reel out there now. What's that reel I talked about?
He's using the Makairas.
I never heard of that reel. Yeah. There you go.
And they're really, really good reels. They're really nice, and they're high end. They're expensive. Right. So you get $1,000 for a nice one, or $900. But I just remember
Van Stalls.
Well, I remember in high school, I worked on the party boat.
Yes, you did.
All summer long, and all I wanted was a 50 International. a pen.
Yeah.
50 because it was gold.
Yeah.
And that's before bling was really popular.
Yeah.
So now I was like, I got to get that reel, man. I need that. Because we were using back then Penn Senators. You know,
The black label before the maroon labels, right?
I did everything. I did everything with it. I bottom fished with it. I would put it out there and troll with it, you know. And I think I wore it out. I wish I still had that reel, but I mean,
Well,
I wore it out.
Finno was the first reel to come out in the gold color. They were the first. They're the creme of the creme. And then, of course, Penn, right out of International, they're called Penn International. They come out with the gold.
Yes.
Right. And then after that, several companies. But that reel you're talking about, Bacara, that's a silver reel, looks
Well,
like.
yeah, and they have different.
Yeah, I haven't tried. It's what I saw
different
yesterday
kinds.
on the boat. But anyway,
You know,
Yeah.
the
everybody's-
technology's
I've
just gotten
seen-
so good. You know?
I've seen some old reels and probably like Hemingway days either
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
with like leather.
Oh yeah, with the
It's
salt
like
leather.
for a drag.
Yeah.
For a drag, yeah.
So
Yeah.
you reel in and you'd have the drag. Man, talk about
Yeah, yeah.
fighting a.
If you don't have that, you burn your thumb real bad, baby, real bad. What reels do you use in marathon these days? What do you use it for convention? Yeah.
I've got Tiagra 50 wides
Yeah, okay, there you go.
and then Talica 25s,
Talicas are great. Yeah.
Saragossa 8000s.
So you're a
pitch.
Shimano guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got some pin. I've got a couple of pins, but you know they stay in the corner.
Yeah.
I like the Talicas. I like the Tiagras, and I've had my Tiagras for 8 or 9 years. Not one bit of problem.
There
out
you
of
go.
it.
That's great. Yeah.
So,
They hold up. That's why you invest that kind of money into
Yeah,
your tackle. Right?
I mean, you can go to the cheaper route, right? But in 2 years, you're right back to paying.
Right.
6 months.
Yeah, you know, you're right back to paying it. Like, okay,
pay now or pay later, and
Right.
yeah,
and pay
Get 'em tuned up.
ultimately. If you use tackle that doesn't hold up, and you put a client on a big fish,
Yep.
and they lose that fish.
Yeah.
Let's say you get a 300-pound blue marlin on, and your drag seizes up,
Yeah.
and you break that fish off. You think that guy's going to come back and be like, oh, well, maybe, but he's going to think about it, and he's going to be like, man, that equipment failed on me.
Yeah.
Everything was right.
I mean, rinsing
Fish of
them.
a lifetime.
You spend hundreds of dollars on gas,
Right.
bait,
Yeah.
everything. Invest in the good products.
You put a good
Right.
Hey, Dave, what was that?
Invest in a good reel, good rods,
What was
good
that
line.
bill last week?
Last week,
And
Over here,
last month was like 95.
$9,500 in fuel. That was one boat.
90. So on the Poppa Wahoo,
This one,
$9,500 in gas.
$9,500 fuel bill.
So
$6 a gallon right now.
$6 a
a
gallon.
little more than
I think we're 580 over
Here,
here.
Mary, so it's $6
Oh.
total, $6.50.
I think we're 580 here right now.
50 a gallon. And you think regular 87 octane at $4.99 or $3.99 is a lot.
I don't know if you guys noticed, the Keys are one of the cheapest places to buy fuel.
Yeah.
If you go out of the Keys, it's more once you leave
Really?
the Keys. I don't know if it's a tax we're missing, but when fuel is low, it's even lower here.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, keep it on.
Notice
It's a
that.
weird thing.
That's a good point. I didn't.
But
So,
I'll pay that bill either.
but even your gasoline for your cars is cheaper here than it is
There
even
you go.
yeah.
50 miles up the road.
Well, I want to do a selfie of us, okay, guys? So
Okay.
I want everybody to look over here, get in this one.
Well, can I get in that?
Yeah. And I want to take a picture of the audience out there too.
There you go.
Right,
Audience.
right through that camera lens. Awesome.
Awesome.
Here we
Nice job, George.
I think
Nice job.
This is for you. This is
Yeah.
an official
official Poppa Wahoo shirt.
Right,
I
we're
want you to have
currently-
that.
It's even got the stitching on it.
Oh yeah.
Zoom in on that there, Mason.
Right. Look right in the collar.
There you go. Right in the collar.
Here you go, CB.
Right in the collar. Poppa Wahoo too.
Yeah, Brian
Yeah.
hand sews those.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Brian hand sews
Hand sews
each and every one of those.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
Pizza.
I tell you what, we've got
Pungent.
10 variations of these shirts. So anytime you want to stop by and see it, we got plenty of right
Yeah,
here.
come on by.
It's
They
free order.
merch. We do
Yeah.
have good merch.
They do have
Good merch. That's
Yeah,
the word.
We're coming.
Yeah,
Yeah.
more coming.
So we got some new
Right.
stuff
And hats.
for
Yeah.
We also have
for guests.
George's son, Wyatt, is the #1 seller of sword knives in the Upper Keys.
Or knives. There you
More
go.
knives.
So George, if
There you
if
go.
you guys want a sword, we go see his son because he gets a free one every time he sells 10.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but we gave him, some ideas about how to get free knives, and the kid loves knives. So,
I had-
like he'll
I had a
walking around, he's like You know what? I don't want to say it. It's like a drug dealer. It's like, here, man, the first one's on me. Here, try this out. And they're like, no, I don't want to borrow it. And he's like, no, use it. Just try it. And then they come back and they're like, hey, man, how much is that? And he's like, for you?
For you, my friend.
My friend.
Good price. How do you spell the name of that knife? Tell everybody how you spell the name of the knife.
It's SORD.
SORD.
Sword.
Sword.
Went so quickly, the people are here.
Yeah.
Hey, Dave, you have
Sword.
those hats?
SORD. So
Right.
now that they're watching it, though, they'll probably end up getting Facebook and Google advertisements now for it. but
Well, they're actually a really,
They
really
are.
good tool for us. And
excellent steel
oh,
they use,
so good.
Teflon coated,
so good.
stay sharp a long time.
Yes. And, you know, he won't sharpen that knife for 3 weeks.
Right.
And still cut fish with it like a razor blade. And I'm like,
Right.
and he's like, Dad, it's that high carbon steel. It's really good.
When normally
Oh, no.
you're used to seeing the mates at the tables sharpen them every time.
These things, you know, they just
Yeah.
go and go and go. So
Yeah.
good for them. We're happy to work with them. And, you know, we're always looking for new partnership with people that want to maybe build their brand and help us build our brand with the Poppa Wahoo collective.
Yep.
You know, that's important for us.
And
So,
Mahi
you know,
Maniacs. So
Mahi
come on
Maniacs.
down.
No, come on, man.
I want to connect everyone that's just, you know, it's united by the love of Mahi fishing, but not just talk Mahi fishing. Let's talk everything.
Well,
you know,
we're well rounded after this many years between
Yeah.
he and I and everybody in the audience.
Yep.
We can well round in conversation. That's
Yep.
for sure.
100%.
Yeah, so well,
100%. So,
do you want to? I guess we'll wrap this up now.
Whatever.
yeah, I'm going to get out of
Great
here. I got
Yep.
family
Yep.
coming into town, but thank you so much for
yeah.
having me on.
Thank you very much.
Really
A real
Next time.
pleasure. Terrific. Thank you so
Skip,
much. We'll be
pleasure.
we'll be
Thanks,
doing-
Josh, for coming.
Thank you, Josh.
Yep.
Nice-
Until
Yeah.
next time, I plan to have
A real
this
pleasure.
next week.
Thank
Not
you
sure
so much.
if it's going to be here or if they'll welcome me back. If not,
Oh,
then
yeah, you're welcome back
we're going to be live
Somewhere.
hopefully every
Maybe
Thursday.
You'll come down the marathon. We'll go live from my back porch.
Yeah.
There you go.
We always going.
Yeah.
You want to join your boat? That'd be cool.
Or we do a live with the Starlink out there catching fish.
Yeah, why not?
Whatever you want.
You know,
Why not? Let's go fishing.
We'll stream right up there.
But-
We'll go live on the bow. We'll go live.
Sure.
I mean,
It's a
endless opportunities.
We've got plenty of room on the
Schedule,
Poppa
okay?
Wahoo.
There you go.
Poppa Wahoo too.
But all right, guys, thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you next Thursday.
All right, everybody. Bye-bye.
Wait, say it. Let's go, baby.
Let's go, baby.
Yeah, burn on. Okay.
That was a good first one.
Sure.
Dave,
That was
Great.
As we
Great.
we learn each other.
We can keep things going. I mean,
Yeah,
Skip did a radio show on Sun 103 here for
Right.
30 something years.
yeah.
You can talk about that sometime.
I mean, he's
Yeah.
a G.
He is the OG.